What's up everybody, Todd here. Today we're going to install the BAK Revolver X4s on this 2022 Toyota Tundra with the deck rail system. For this installation, I'll be using the impact driver with a T30 Torx bit in a 1/2-inch socket. Let's go ahead and get started. First, we need to install our corner seals. Now, I'm on the passenger side, right up at the very front of the bed. This is our bed cap. Everything I do on the passenger side will also be doing on the driver's side. But what we're going to do first, if we lift up on the front corner of the bed cap, it'll pop right up. And what you're going to notice is we've got a little area right here that's opened up. We need to seal that off. So I've already cleaned off this surface right here with some isopropyl alcohol. What we're going to do is find one of our block seals and peel off the adhesive protector. Then that block seal is going to go all the way up to the bottom of the metal flange on the bed cap and then push against this surface here. Now with it still up, we're going to take one of our rounded seals, peel off the adhesive protector on that. All right, we're going to take that rounded seal and we're going to place it right here on the inside of that bed cap and then pop it back down and press it into place. If you wanted to add a little bit of silicone sealant to this corner, that would be a great supplement. Okay, so next what we're going to do is go ahead and install our bulkhead seal right across the top of the bulkhead. Now, I've already cleaned off this surface with some isopropyl alcohol. What we're going to do is roll our seal out and go ahead and peel off a little bit of the adhesive protector. Next, we're going to go all the way to one side and adhere the seal to the top. And what we're going to do is make sure that seal stays all the way to the inside edge of the bed, as far away from the cab as possible, still on top of the bulkhead. We're just going to work a little bit at a time. And when we get to the opposite bed cap, we'll go ahead and cut that into place and finish sticking it down. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and show you how to install the rail here on the passenger side. Everything I do on this side, I'll also be doing on the driver's side. So the first thing that we're going to do, I've got a T30 Torx bit. I've got a little electric impact driver. We've got 5 Torx head screws holding the deck rail on. All 5 of those have to come out and we're going to retain those factory screws. Make sure that when you put this bit in there that it's fully engaged before you apply a torque so that you do not strip out the head. All right, now we can go ahead and remove the deck rail from the side of the truck. Next, we're going to go ahead and find our passenger side rail. Now, the rail is going to look like this. You're going to have the shelf of the rail face into the inside of the bed. This end right here goes to the front of the bed. So what we're going to do is we are next going to take our brackets and then slide them into the end of the rail. Now, each bracket is going to slide into the rail just like so. Put 5 in on each rail. All right, now what I'm doing is I'm just kind of putting these about where they need to be. I've got the rail lined up on top of the bed cap. What we're going to do is kind of rotate that down. The front of the rail has a pad that needs to slide all the way forward and contact the deck rail system in the front. Next, what we'll do is line up each one of these brackets to line up to the hole that the factory Torx bolt came out of that held the deck rail system in place. Once we've got them all lined up, we're going to take our factory hardware and go back through that hole, get each one of the bolts lined up and started before we tighten any of them down. All right, now as you tighten these down, make sure that you've got some pressure down on top of the bed cap and make sure that the rail is pulled all the way forward to where the foam pad at the front compresses up against the deck rail system. Now we can go ahead and tighten that down. Make sure if you're using a power tool, everything's completely seated so you're not stripping anything out, and do not over tighten. Okay, next we can go ahead and attach our factory deck rail system to our new brackets. This lowers the deck rail system, provided you're going to have some smaller Torx head bolts. They're just a little bit shorter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start the first one and the back one and get those started and then line everything else up. Then we can tighten them all down. Okay, now that we've got everything lined up, go ahead and tighten it down with a T30. Again, make sure you don't strip anything out and don't over tighten. Okay, now in your kit, you're also going to have a strap that will be able to hold the cover in place when you're driving with the cover open. What we're going to do is install this into the deck rail system. So we're going to take out the plug at the front of the deck rail system, take this end and then slide it into the deck rail system. We're going to slide it back a little ways and then tighten that down using a 1/2 inch ratchet or socket. Again, just snug it down, don't over tighten it. And replace the plug. Okay, we're going to take the cover out of the box and set it on top of the rails. We want to make sure that this part of the cover lands on top of the shelf on the inside of the bed. This is reverse rolled from the factory to protect it in transit. So as we roll it forward from the tailgate, we're also going to take our packing material, move that out of the way, and roll the tailgate end up along with it. We're going to keep on going towards the cab. All right, and once we get up to the front, we're going to notice that the head rail has two channels that go all the way side to side. What we're going to do is take some of the provided bolts and slide them into those two rails. We're going to do one per rail on each side. All right, so here's the channel. What we're going to do is take and pull our seal down a little bit and make a little bit of room. Take the head of the bolt and we're going to rotate it where it can slide inside that channel. We want one bolt to line up to this slot, and then the other bolt to line up to this slot. We're going to do that on both sides and then rotate this down where the bolts drop down into the slots. Okay, now here we are underneath the cover. This is where our two bolts came down through the metal tab. Next, what we're going to do is attach our hardware loosely. We still have to adjust the cover. So what we're going to do is put a flat washer and rubber washer, first the rubber washer, then the flat washer, on each one of the bolts, and then attach a star knob. Do that on both of the bolts. Now again, you just want to get them attached. Do not tighten them down because we still have to adjust the cover, but repeat this on the opposite side as well. All right, now what we're going to do is go ahead and roll the cover back to the tailgate, make sure everything's nice and centered, make sure it's centered side to side, and make sure the end of the cover lines up with the end of the rails. Then we can gently roll it back up to the front and tighten down the knobs. All right, we didn't shift anything around, so let's go ahead and tighten everything up. Okay, now that we've got the cover adjusted exactly where we want it, we can go ahead and tighten down these two knobs. I'll repeat the same on the opposite side. Okay, so first I want to point out that if the cover is rolled up nice and tight, it will never roll far enough forward to contact the cab. However, if the cover is rolled up a little bit loose, then it can run into an issue where it hits the cab. So what we're going to do is the two rows that would hit loose, we're going to go ahead and wipe those areas down with alcohol, and then attach some rubber bumpers to each of those rows on both sides. Well, that concludes the installation. If you have any questions, call the experts or visit us online.